there, lovely good afternoon and welcome to Camnet's Lunchtime Cafe program. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm Tapelo Joe Smata. Now this afternoon we discuss a number of issues surrounding the opposition National Democratic Congress, NDC, together with national matters. Now, to help me discuss this very important topic, seated on my far left is the NDC President, Mr. Joseph Kasonde. Mr. Kasonde, good to see you and welcome.
Thank you very much, Pana Joe, and good afternoon, viewers.
Okay, and seated right next to me is the NDC Secretary General, Mr. Ngombe Mfaya. Good to see you, sir, and welcome.
Thank you, Tapelo, and good afternoon, viewers.
Okay, excellent, awesome. Now, I'll start with you, the SG, the CEO of the party. We know that even our viewers out there know that the NDC is in existence. But let me ask, how's the NDC doing before I bring in the president?
I wouldn't hide you. NDC is doing fine, and it's intact. And President Joseph Kasonde and I, as the Secretary General, and whatever you hear on air, this one says this one says that, all that is just a voice in the wilderness. But otherwise, NDC is intact.
Okay. The President Kasonde, let me come to you. When I say President Kasonde, I'm using this deliberately,
Right.
because there's another president and another president of NDC, quote unquote. Now, we don't want to mention names, but we know that there are two individuals that claim or purport to be NDC. And we're talking about one who is female and another one who is a male. And they say they are presidents to the NDC. Is this the same NDC or there's another NDC? President Kasonde.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I've always said, in Zambia, where we are, we only have one NDC, and that is the NDC that I am leading, because it's got a history where it's coming from. So much so that anyone that will come today and talk about what, with the institution memory that I've always given on the radio, everywhere, the Zambian people are able to tell that this one is masquerading, this one has been hired and stuff like that. So we don't care for those because we are on firm ground. And I wanted also just to mention, I heard you mention that for us to discuss this thing, you are referring to us as the opposition. And this, we are not opposition.
Okay.
We are in the ruling. We are an alliance
Oh,
partner.
you're alliance partner.
Right, we are not in the opposition now. Yeah. So my ascendance to become president, I've always mentioned that there was an extraordinary Congress. And I've got a history where we are coming from. This NDC that we have now, this is a new NDC.
Okay.
It is different from the NDC that went with those people that left when the NDC had a split. And my young brother, Chimba Kambwiri, they went. And he went to PF, but they got stuck. So all those that have been coming, some told me anyhow, they are coming to this NDC because I, under the authority of Mr. Kafumba Rick Josephs by then, we stayed and stuck to the alliance, and this is the NDC that is here, and it's the NDC which we are saying it's a new NDC with JK constitutional vaccine, where we are now following the rules of the game in terms of using the constitution. Except that always when you're in a group, under group dynamics, you expect to have the lions, you expect to have the elephants, monkeys, yes, all those, the foxes and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we have to be hell-bent and look at what is the Constitution saying. Anyone doesn't agree with the Constitution, that's where my able Secretary General, Mr. Mfaya Ngombe, is also there. We want to make sure that the rules of the game are applied. Because sometimes, Joe, you'll find that if you don't follow the Constitution, it becomes a problem when it comes to settling disputes. So the NDC that is there, there's only one NDC. And these others, I cannot tell where they are because we are in the alliance and we are in the ruling, and this is the NDC that has been there from 2021 up to now. And I'm the president. Nobody else is the president. If there is anyone, it's better they even prove. But we're on firm ground.
Okay. Talking about being on firm ground, President Kasonde, why then haven't we seen you and the Secretary General, together with the entire party leadership, taking legal action against these two individuals?
Okay, now, you see, what it is we can't talk much about that. I'll tell you that we are headway. Yes. There's no need. If I discipline you, the person that is expelled from the party, that is enough punishment. Okay? So, right now as we speak, my brother, Chimbakambwi, he was expelled by Mr. Kafumba. There is a letter to that effect. Yes. Sawa Imboela, she was expelled. Yes. No matter what she says today. That's more reason why, because of the different administration of Joseph Srika Kafumba by then, he decided to pinch them with an expulsion, and also he pushed in an injunction just to make them stop masquerading. And that is the injunction that we've been dealing with at Ndola High Court before coming to the main matter. But again, they have confessed and we've forgiven them, and we're just trying to see how best they can realize and say, oh, where do we go? But so far, we can say, Bana Kambwi is now PF. So with the expulsion, that is a bygone. Talk about the lady. Also,
so before we come to the lady, I just want to, you, the NDC functionaries, you are the president, he is the secretary general.
Yeah.
To be fair to us, the media, because we like to give a right of reply to all parties. Whether it's in the ruling or the opposition, alliance partners to the ruling party or sympathizers, in this sense, would like to give an opportunity for them to express themselves. Now, let me find out. There's an NDC that is in an alliance with, is it UKA, United Kwacha Alliance? Which NDC is this? Is it part of you? Is it a breakaway from you? Or is it an illegal NDC? President Kasonde, before the SG comes in. Okay,
yeah. Like I'm saying that the alliance that is there, it's the alliance that is in the UPND with the NDC. But if you talk of UKA, that is not an NDC. Because if you can ask her, Madam Saro, where is your certificate of registration? Where are you a part of the Registrar of Societies? Do you make the retains? And surely, what papers does she have? She doesn't have. With the NDC where we are, she was part of this NDC, but like I'm saying, administratively and officially, we've got expulsion letters for all of those that have gone. Kambwiri, there is a letter, and then for her, there is a letter. And what we can say is that different administrations, President Nakafumba by then decided just to escalate that punishment with the court process, and then there was that injunction, which actually last year, 25th September, I think I was at court in Ndola, and we entered the consent judgment where they asked for forgiveness, and we forgave them. But then when it comes to the NDC, there's no NDC in UKA there. What is there is just the hard talks to show, yes. Because if it's an NDC, what about the credentials? Where are you? Where? And the expulsion is there to show. So if I have to answer that question, I'm saying we are the NDC, we are the legit, and she was expelled, just like Mr. Kambili was expelled, and that is the best way it should go. You see, the courts, normally, they also love to see this case or this group, have they got a constitution? What have they done with their constitution in terms of settling disputes? So what I'm saying is official. No matter what somebody can stand and say, I'm this and that. If you receive a letter that shows that you are not part of it, that also helps the courts to say, here is this letter. And then it is showing that you have been punished or you've been given a reprimand. Then it ends there. Whether you're going to say, no, I'm still this, I'm still that. If there is an official communique, it ends there. So we have no time to actually keep arguing with a person that we know that he's got an expulsion letter or she has an expulsion letter, but then she still keeps on saying, I'm NDC, NDC. So those who are following, for lack of better terms, you can say, they are following blindly. But there's a moment that is coming, soon and very soon, where they realize that there is no NDC anywhere apart from the NDC that is in this alliance with the UPND. After all, we are the ones that saved this UPND alliance at that time in 2021 when it was not even fashionable. The people that may even be coming here to fight, to come here to talk about my name, which of course I'm happy, because the more they keep talking about me, I have no time to be coming here to argue with anybody that I know that they are under in my hands. Yeah, but it is us who stood with Mr. Kafumba. We said, if it's to lose, let's lose with honor. All those guys that come and talk anything about me, they went, they left. And then I remained as National Coordinator, Rose, Deputy SG, Rose, Secretary General, now President, and an extraordinary Congress. So these cries are cries of running away from the discipline of the party. Yes, we have all the records that show what have we done administratively. So at the end of the day, nobody says what. And there are those that are coming maybe to say, no, we want the Zambian people or the NDC members to go for a Congress. Which Congress do you want to go for? Where are you going to get the 2 million for 1,000 plus people? What happens, Joe, is that normally in a party, when you know very well that you do not have enough resources, at the national level, you can do what we call an extraordinary Congress. Even at the provincial level, you can do an extraordinary provincial Congress. But then people don't understand that, and they think that is not enough. No, it makes the party keep running. After all, it is not an office bearer who can come and control a national governing committee, unless if it's at the beginning of a political party. So to answer your question, we are saying that the National Democratic Congress NDC, it is in the alliance with the UPND. Anywhere else, there is no alliance. After all, there is a gentleman that maybe in a short while you may ask 1 or 2 questions. I was watching at Crown TV. It's Fabian Mutale. He says he's an advocate for governance, whatever. But then he's talking of, no, I want to bring UCA, NDC together with UCA, to bring Savoy together with NDC. Now you can see, he's actually betraying himself. Because as an advocate, he doesn't need to be partisan. But he's talking of taking the UCA, where Savoy is hell-bent on UCA, and then he wants to get these expelled members to put them together. A clear demonstration why we even expelled those guys, because we expelled them knowing very well that they had a hidden agenda of wanting to go to take this NDC out. But already, Fabian has already started exposing to say he wants Savoy with the UCA to join with those expelled members. A clear indication. So we are being vindicated now. So the NDC is in the alliance with the UPND, and this is where we are. Anyone else, they have no credentials, and it's just about voice speaking, trying to show tantrums and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
SG, let me come to you. There's a letter that was brought on this particular platform on one of our flagship programs, which is the Breakfast Show. And this particular letter carried by a governance advocate, it was brought on this particular platform. Actually, we were ambushed early in the morning that we need to give the gentleman space to air out his views. And as a credible TV station, we do not deny an opportunity to a member of the public to air their views politically. Now, that particular letter suggests that you, the NDC under President Kasonde, appointed one Mr. Fabian Mutale as Cooper Belt, is it national coordinator or mobilization?
National governing commission.
National governing.
Yes.
Member in charge of Copper Belt.
Ah, fantastic. I'm glad you are aware of that particular letter. Now, the gentleman says that particular letter, he was not aware of it, and he brought it to me and my producers that he wanted to clear his name. How do you respond to that?
It's unfortunate that Fabian can say that, because we have evidence, text messages, pleading to the president, even to me, that we gave him a position. And which position did he want at first? He wanted the Secretary General or the Vice President, or even the Deputy Secretary General, which we refused. Okay. I said, no, for us to give you a fresh start, we'll give you the position of National Governing Committee member in charge of Copper Belt. So those are just desperate moves made by the people who we expelled. Let me show you.
When you say that, are you suggesting that he is a hired gun to destabilize this particular NDC?
Yes, look at what he's doing. I'll give you a brief history of what happened.
Okay.
After the Congress which happened, where President Joseph Kasonde was elected as president, there was a vice president called Mr. Musukwa. After he was appointed, they attempted to expel the president unconstitutionally, of which we thwart that. Now, after realizing that they have no stand,
Okay.
because we expelled them, we suspended them after they did that, because they did that unconstitutionally. So what did they do? After they realized that they have fumbled, they went to wake up those expelled and those who stopped being office bearers of NDC, like Mr. Chewe. Mr. Chewe was expelled early last year, and some other, because according to our constitution, every officer who consecutively misses 3 meetings ceases to be a member of the party.
Okay.
So apparently these 4 office bearers who they gathered to have an illegal meeting to appoint Mr. Musukwa as the president
Of another NDC.
Yes,
Okay.
they were expelled. And some, we have letters, we have documentation to that effect. Mr. Chewe, Papa Musa, and the rest, all of them ceased to be office bearer. So what did they do? They go to these people and have an illegal meeting to appoint them. Have you seen how desperate they are? And now what is Fabian saying? Because you see, after we suspended those people, they never challenged the suspension. We gave them time to appear before the disciplinary committee. They never appeared. We expelled them. So now today they are crying. Fabian said in that media publication at Crown TV, saying we never gave chance to those people to exculpate themselves. You see, do you see the desperation? They are expelled. They attempt to expel the president. They fail. They call themselves president. Again, they go to these office bearers, quote unquote, those who cease to be office bearers, to appoint. Because you see, when office bearers register a party, it's their duty to appoint the highest policy-making body. And in that, there is also the president. So along the line, along the way, President Kasonde became the president of NTC. Meaning, those office bearers that are under the president, they cannot do anything at will. They have to follow the constitution. That is what the constitution says. Now, here is the National Governing Committee. It's running the affairs of the party. They come round and come to appoint another president. What is that? It doesn't work like that. Now, have you seen the desperation? So, all those people, the Musukwas, the whatever, they are neither here nor there. They have no locus standi.
Okay.
They remain suspended, expelled up to now, because none of them ever challenged his expulsion.
And also I can just mention on Fabian Mutale. Yes, he came to me early this year wanting the submission to work with us. That's where I read that he was conditional in his coming, wanting to be vice president, secretary. No, you were able to tell that there's this way. But I had to give him a moment of thought. So just last week but one, that's when he was now trying to ask, what about that issue? I called him to my office. We sat in the boardroom. He shouldn't even cheat to the Zambian people. Please, let's not cheat people. A leader should not lie. You start lying, then you are gone, like him. I call him as a young brother. I sat him, then told him, passed him through, even this nonsense of all these indisciplined chaps that he's trying to work with. I passed him through all those to give him a picture. And I told him, it's up to you. If you are coming, if you can accept a different position, not those that you want. That's how I confided in him. And then, so let's give him on probation. That's I to see. So he came to the office. So that letter, he shouldn't say, I don't know about it. How did he get it? How did he intercept it? His big brother. That's the number that we used. He's the one who said, use the number of my brother. Because me have a small phone as at now. So that's what we did. We gave that letter. Now, when we did that, his role was now to talk to the other members. I gave him three numbers for the provincial chairman, George Munkonge, and for Mary Rupupa, Kapupa. Yes. And then also for Josephine Ziambo, the chair lady. He called them, whatever he was discussing they called back, told the SG, the provincial chairman just said he has no cases and stuff. He didn't know that we had that information. That's why he was saying, can you come to the office, we come and discuss. This is where even the issue of him asking for transport money came in. I'm talking to him 16 hours. He's on the copper belt. He's telling me, if you're for Kundondo and to I said, no, we can't. Just have time in the night, we can discuss. I didn't even send him that money. But the following day, he was here on radio, on television. How he moved in the night, you can't know, because you could tell that, yes. So what I'm saying is, the other time, he even still asked for some money. He was going back, when I told him, hold on, going back to Ndola, he was still asking for money. Peniko to Natshinga Nimbulisha. How much? 500 kwacha. Nata $1 and 250, not 500. Yoka and therefore wish to go to Fiumbu. What? So I did not even give him that money. But I confided in my SG and said, let's just see how we can work with him. But surprisingly, he comes and then undresses himself before here and then says, I do not know, I was just being pleaded for what? Fabian, he was yes, he was private secretary to Mr. Kambwe. But he went together with him. And if there was a person that was ungrateful or very uncooperative, it was him. Even in the blogs at that time when we were splitting, he was the one kicking us out of the blogs. For me to even accept him back, it is because I want to show that I'm a man of the people. People have said, the 10 expelled members, same, we were together. I'm told, no, bring them back. 10 days of bringing them back. They misbehaved. What do? You expel them. Mr. Msuko they are talking about now, appointed. That man, he was my vice president. So if he can now be, I'd give him a task, bring back those lost sheep. He goes, they convince him as a vice president. He starts revealing the even confidential information that I was giving him as my vice president. What do I do with such a person? Suspend. Next, what do? Give him a room to explain. He doesn't explain, we expel. And this is what we've done. And unfortunately, they don't seem to know what the Constitution says about administration, or when you are given a letter, or when you are reprimanded. Today, as we speak, you will find that there is some case. I would call it a simple case. It's in Ndola. In Kitwe. Reasoned by somebody, a gentleman, Gombe, who actually was nowhere, was a Kitwe district youth chairman. I raised him to say, become a national governing committee in charge of Copper Belt province. I don't know whether Ngaku is being overwhelmed, he misbehaves. We kick him out. But he said, no, I'm the secretary. In fact, he calls himself, him is the deputy secretary general, and he has written to sue me. But where has he gotten the deputy secretary general? We don't know. There's a case in Kitwe, which of course I'm attending to, and I can't talk much about it. Chewe, who actually is actually unwanted by the police. And I've been saying, even on this media, say, but Chewe, wherever you are, come and pay us the police barrier. There is a complainant. You can't go to the police without a complainant. For hate speech, he's wanted. No, ngaule foku imina kulia kuine ku chimwemwe. La Chewe, ngaule foku imina ku chimwemwe. He's saying first to push Mulandu. Nomination. It's not long from now that he's always here and there. Today, as I'm speaking, he wrote some letters. They are giving me 48 hours to stop masquerading as a NDC president. I replied to the letters from their lawyer. that lawyer abandons it. He says, no, I cannot touch this. I didn't get more information. Again, today, right today, there are some summons from him. No, interim injunction that I'm restrained. Now, all these things, when you look at the documentations, they are far away. He's a person that is expelled, procedure really followed, and is unwanted, but then he's still wanting to say he challenges me. And I'm saying, yes, I'm going to reply, and this is even a good chance, because before we go to the courts, he's got a criminal case. Well, that's where we'll capture him properly. So what I'm trying to say here is that our colleagues, they do not seem to appreciate and to build this NDC. I have to behave as a leader to make sure I'm a midwife, so that I care for this NDC in a way that even the members are led properly. But with them, already Fabian, we thank God for Fabian to have exposed the agenda, because he is on ground saying, now as activists for governance, whatever, Ndola-based, I don't even know where the office is, at Ndola-based, he is now saying we want to get Savoy Imbwera with UKA and get that NDC and bring the others together. Savoy is hell-bent. She wants UKA like anything. You've seen there's UKA where she's been reprimanded and she says, I'm still UKA. And now that's where somebody comes and says, get the expelled people to come and join their forces. Meanwhile, these expelled people, we chase them because of wanting to get this NDC in the alliance out to go to UKA vis-a-vis maybe to Tonsi. So it's good that Fabian is talking anyhow and is exposing them. But the fact remains that Fabian came, we talked, and I cancelled him, I advised him. That probation letter was written under my signature after I signed, he wrote it. Then we didn't give me the original is still at the office, but we gave him a soft copy. Then to see how, just a day or two, definitely it's out of being a hired gun. Because definitely, where can somebody be able to ask for money? Then he wants also to ask for transport, this and that. Meanwhile, you are able to tell that the speech or the actions that he's doing, they have got something to do with him. Somebody lacking, man. That's why in leadership, mostly, Joe, it's very important that, you know, when you are a leader, you must look at service. Don't look at status. Yeah. Because if you want to get status, then you are lost. Look at service to the people. And when you are a leader, also you must be able to look after your family. Have some monies of your own. Here where I am, I'm not just somebody who can say what. In fact, me, I'm a psychiatric social worker. I run a mental health NGO, Smart Moves Zambia. I am a qualified alcohol and drug addiction therapist, trained under Chainama College of Health Sciences there. Ministry of Health supports that capacity building where we are now qualified mental health social workers. And I've got things that I do, different programs. Now, you get a person to become a leader, but then he doesn't have money. That's why he's in a particular position. He's lacking. He has to start looking where he can get some money to do it. This is where the wrong things are coming. Fabian does not seem to be fair to the community, to the Zambian people. If he really is an advocate and then he wants to speak of governance in this country to promote democracy, that's not the way you do it. You come to the office, you lie, you get an appointment letter, then you start speaking to your colleagues to turn the tables. No, it's unfortunate. But the fact I'm trying to say is he came. That letter, he knew where he got it. If he is here, I can ask him. The messages that he was giving, even says, I'm going through. Okay, thank you very much. Then the following day, you see, and then the other funny part is, NDC, what I've seen, Joe, I've seen that there's just so many people that want to fight, and their way of fighting to make NDC become strong, it's not about, do we have leadership here, no, it's about Kasonde. Yes, I'm not missing in any story. It's all about, no, let's have a national congress so that they choose their leaders. Which leaders? Are the leaders on Kasonde there? No. The leaders are down there on the province, the district, the constituents, the wards, the branches, and the section. That's why it is. Because me, I'm just leading. And at some point, I'll be able to lead, yes. But this time round, it's a foregone issue. Because I've even clocked it. It's the other day we were saying, the Women League National Chairperson, Madam Loveness Wheeler, she's even saying, tomorrow, Saturday, they want to toast a 1 year anniversary. Because on 24th May last year, today to 25 May, to this 25 May, we've clocked a 1 year.
Okay,
Therefore,
in office.
Yes, in office. And these people, most of them were kicked out. They're almost also clocking a year to having been kicked out. But they still are fighting. And matters worse, they have even brought people that have never had a position in the party to join in fighting my position. Now you can wonder, how does somebody who never had a position start coming to me and fighting that? So what I'm saying is, a number of people that have started surfacing to talk about me, you can even wonder, some of them, without mentioning names, you'll find, from their appearance you can tell, some shabbily dressed with shaggy hair,
Okay.
So it's the Zambian people to tell.
Okay, let's put that matter to rest, Mr. Kasonde. I think now it's out of the way, and it's clear. As a media house, we reserve the right to reply. If you feel aggrieved, please contact us, come through, and let's have a discussion for you to clarify your matters, like Mr. Kasonde and the Secretary General have done this afternoon. Now, moving on, Mr. Kasonde, you said you are alliance partners with the UPND. Let me find out. 3.5 years in office, how has been the performance before I come to SG?
What we can say that the country, of course, it's going through hard issues, and these hard issues you cannot run away from in terms of the cost of living and many other needs, because always when a leader is there, he's leading people, and there is what people want to see happen, especially when it comes to satisfying them with their basic needs. This is where we are saying that with those issues that are actually thorny, it's important for the government to have a listening ear and start working on them so that they are able to say, okay, this government is a listening government. But also there must be a balance by seeing that when this government is providing that, is there anything that we as people of the country can also say, yes, we are getting what we want or not? Unlike where there is a cry for what you want, but then you cannot be able to appreciate what is there. Because this country, Joe, it has a history where it's coming from. President H87, we have said, is not the first president in this country. Yeah, he's the 7th president. And there have been inheritance of issues. Every president that was there has left a legacy. And that legacy that has been left, it's a question of what about the one that took over? Did he continue at the same trajectory? You find that also, because being human, another president that comes, you find that he's got also what he did good, but there was also that bad. Like that. Some I saw that when H87 comes into being, I've always said on this platform and many other places to say, he inherits a cocktail of problems. There are good things that he has done, or which he realized that these governments that are previous did, but then there are also these bad things. So to him, he fails, President HH fails just to say, let me do my good things that I can do. Because he's now thinking yonder to say, there is a president that will come after him. And that one that comes after him, he must continue to build Zambia. So that spirit of nationalism is still embedded in President HH. In other words, what I'm saying, he now gets to see that those identified gaps of the bad things or bad leadership that was there, he wants to address them. And it is against that issue of wanting to look at where did our friends end, what was bad, then we work well, that has somehow made other people capitalize, especially the opposition. The other time I was saying, President H87, he has said that, please give me criticism that is constructive because it will help me to jack up. And one thing that the Zambian people should understand, when you are president there is a system in operation to an extent where certain things, it is because he's president, so everyone has to just paint him black. But remember, the opposition today, we have said, let them be balanced where the moment they give a criticism, let them be able to say, this is the answer to this, and they end there. But unfortunately, most of the leaders in this country that want to say HH7 has done wrong here, they are saying, and he has to get out of office until they take over. That's where National Democratic Congress ends. We say, no, you cannot do that. It's one leader at a time. Criticize, give an answer, leave it like that. But to give a picture of not until I come there, supposedly, God forbid, you don't happen to be there, then you die with those good things, give them out. President, the late Mwanawasa, used to get what the late Michael Sata used to do. He gives him negatives, this and that, but the answer that he's giving, Mwanawasa was speaking. and then it prevents. That's why I was able to say, no, I was getting what you criticized me with, but today this is where we are. So what we are saying is the government is doing its best up to where we can. But of course, notwithstanding the fact that this cost of living is high, maybe the fuel hasn't come down according to expectations, the promises that we are given are not yet done. Yes, but the question is why? Then we look at the other leaders, because the proactiveness of a leader in terms of looking at the whole country as a nationalist is very, very important. Today we've been grappling with the issue of the load shedding and stuff like that. You may be able to remember that no leader was too proactive at some point to look at global and climate change. No one even thought one time we could even have a COVID-19 challenge. So that when there is that problem, then you see how you can be able to handle it. So in short, what we are saying, President HH7 with the government, he is doing his best to make sure he sets a standard for a leader. But I know that every constituency has got an MP, and some of these things are not going to be accountable through President HH7. It should be understood that he's got leaders in those places, and they should be answerable to their constituents. Therefore, it will be up to them. But when it comes to the driving seat of the president, surely we should know he is a manager, and nothing will miss without talking about him. Like the way the Ngoni say that Mutu Kakula Sule Wankonya. It is the same, because he is the one that is in charge.
Okay.
Yeah.
SG, coming to you in terms of governing parties within the alliance, how has it been so far? You are part of the body of Secretary Generals in this UPND alliance. How has it been so far? 3 years and some months.
First of all, I would say the governance has been very good.
Okay.
Yes, only that some people look at alliance for themselves,
Okay.
not for the people. Are you getting my point there?
I'm getting your point.
Whenever they are in the alliance, all they think is, no, I'll be giving this, I'll be giving that, I'll be giving that.
Isn't it the reason why people join politics?
If that is the reason, that is the reason why our economy collapsed. People mostly they join politics so that they enrich themselves.
Okay.
And it's very unfortunate that our country has come to this where we think the economy the economy is not doing fine because of such mentality.
Why are you and NDC in this alliance?
Is to serve the people of Zambia, not to enrich myself. But if the president today or the other day says, no, Mr. Ngombe, I want you to help me run the country, then I can do that.
Then you abandon the party?
No, I don't abandon the party. But if I'm given another position where, because leadership is not only in partisan politics, but even in other sectors, you can be a leader.
Okay.
So now, to say that I'm in NDC so that I benefit is the reason why you hear people, no, today we have moved out of the alliance, we have done what? Why? Because people want a personal gain. That is not the reason why we are in this alliance. We are specifically here to serve the people.
Okay.
Yes, not any other thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say the alliance is doing fine. Because look at what the government has done. They have increased the CDF. That is leaders. Proper leaders. If anyone else says, what is the legacy for HH or the UPND? I can't see anything. It's the reason why. You know what they look at?
Isn't it the duty of government? And I'm taking this question, I know we are beginning to wind up, but we have heard the UPND talk about the UPND Alliance.
Yes.
Talk about our legacy CDF increment. Isn't this a requirement of any government to give out what we call transactional payments in terms of social welfare, social security? We have seen cash for work, social cash transfers, Isn't this the role of any government? Why should the Zambian people stand on mountain hills and begin to clap for the UPND alliance?
I would say, was it there?
CDF has always been there.
But was it at this amount? No. Actually, right now, in every constituency you go to, there's some development of some kind.
Let's start with Lusaka Central, Mr. Ingombe. What development is in Lusaka Central? We are now in Lusaka Central right now.
Okay.
What development is there?
I wanted to mention just on the same CDF.
But I want first my question to be addressed, President Kasonde. For the sake of my viewers out there, they have said, look, there are so many pronouncements on CDF, and also there are so many trips that are being made to Parliamentary Accounts Committee for airing councils out there. We see their council secretaries, their accountants, how they fail to answer questions because of misappropriation and misapplication of constituency development funds. And these are monies from the taxpayers themselves, the Zambians, the ordinary people. Now my question is, if we talk about even a 1 million project or a 1.2 million project here in Lusaka Central, where can we point out? Mr. Ngombe, Mr. Kasonde.
Yeah, okay, that's why I was trying to say that, look, these inherited issues that President H7 did together with the government are not things that we can easily be able to look at. But you must understand, we have the short-term issues, developments, we have long-term ones. And don't forget that in the inheritance of a government, like I mentioned, there are certain gaps that need to be addressed. At the end, you find that some prominence that would want to us, for example, here in Lusaka Central, so what do we point? You may find for now not, but given the second term, you find that it will be there. But the point
is that fair to Zambian people?
It
Mr.
must
Kasonde?
be fair because that's a process.
President Kasonde, let me find out.
If you talk
CDF
about infrastructure,
is being increased each and every year.
Yes.
And we have heard this is decentralization. We are taking money to the Zambian people, President Kasonde. Not far from where we are here in IBEX, we have Kudu Road. It's in a deplorable state.
Yes, that is a task of the MP. That's why they
we have Kudu Road there in a deplorable state. Let me take you to Western Province. We had a news item that we ran a day before yesterday where children in boarding schools are sleeping on the floor.
Right.
They are learning from the floor, and you are saying you have increased CDF, you are building classroom blocks, you are buying bunk beds in these boarding schools.
Right.
But the reality on the ground is different.
Can I?
SG.
Yes. You know.
What is happening? Where is the CDF
I'll
going?
first of all ask you. Do you believe in CDF? And it has been increased.
Pronouncements have been made.
Yes, there is. Now, whose duty is to who should utilize that? It's not the council to come and force you to do this.
But where is the money going?
Now, it's the people around the community who are supposed to say, oh, we want this here, we want this there. So, if it happens that in a certain area, there hasn't been...
Many areas, in fact.
Many areas, that is not the problem of the government.
Or who's to blame?
It's the people there.
So now we are blaming the Zambian people for lack of development.
No. Get me right. The CDF has been provided. Government says, here is the money.
Where is it found? Where is it found?
It's there. And I would want to challenge you as a journalist. Actually, you are supposed to inform us. You are supposed to go to the councils.
You are the politicians. I'm asking you. Because you are in the UPND Alliance. Very exciting.
Yes.
You are in the UPND Alliance.
Yes.
And I want to find out from you now to say, we've seen councils going to the Parliamentary Accounts Committee.
Yes.
And what these individuals say is, we are sorry. We are sorry. No, it was an oversight. We had the meeting. We spent so much on this particular meeting. We had the funeral.
Yeah. So you see,
my question is,
the problem
Mr.
that
Kasonde,
is there. Oh, yes. Okay.
are we taking governance issues seriously under the UPND Alliance administration? Are we taking the issues that has to do with money application prudently? Those are the questions I want.
In fact, what I can say is President HSM, I keep on mentioning him because he's exemplary good and he wants accountability. And when we are talking of social accountability, for sure, it should be that money given by the government to a particular community, there are officials there that are government employees to make sure they do the work. If they are found in scandals and stuff like that, that's where they have to be punished. But at the end of the day, what we are saying, we should understand that to do some work in a particular community, there are people involved. Now, those people that are there are a combination, the good, the bad, and the worst. You may wish to know, Joe, that when you take up a government, like as it were, other previous regimes, what they do a cleansing of removing particular people in
Why
offices.
did you do that yourselves?
No, you see, you must be human. You are there to serve, and then be able to have. Otherwise you are going to have the biggest problem to be challenged.
We are a Christian nation, Mr. Kasonde.
Yes, but
we are running out of time. We are a Christian nation, and the Bible itself says, if your left hand causes you to sin, cut it off.
Yeah,
if your eye causes you to sin, gouge it out. Now you as human beings, if you are saying you found, for instance, people in the system that were antagonistic to your progressive policies as the UPND Alliance, why didn't you remove them?
No, it's a process. You don't just come and say you out, otherwise you have a problem. Because the government, or rather the country, has not begun when you have come. So you've got to appreciate what is there. You study and then see. Then as you keep removing the bad eggs, because the Zambian people, today you come and cut that one off, you'll find that some of them might make your work difficult. And the Zambian people may misunderstand you to say, look, he's now fond of vengeance. So HH7 has got a combination of issues that is dealing with, to develop, to also address this, and then be able to see when do I move. But 3 years, 4 years down the line, we are saying it's too short. And that's why we have to remind the Zambian people that please.
You need another mandate?
Why not, if not? Because 3 years, 4 years, how does somebody within 3 years, he employs...
Your first mandate ends.
No, it ends, but look at 50,000 of employing the civil servants, 3 years, while others it took 37 years.
As we conclude, Mr. Kasonde, let me start with you, Mr. Kasonde, the President. Why should the Zambian people give you another mandate, a 5-year mandate, seeing that your mandate is coming to an end next year? Why should they renew your mandate?
One, the time that is being used right now is too short to say everything can be done within 1 year or within 1 term. Rome was not built in a day. And then two, is to look at what achievements have been there within these 3-4 years that this government has done compared to the others. Because the 2 million students or children that can be put in a school right away because of CDF, it is better than leaving it, then you start putting up a big infrastructure. Oh, there's another big infrastructure in Central, Lusaka Central. No. So those are the indicators we are saying. If somebody is being paid his pension quickly, that is better. If somebody who is an army officer goes for UN keeping forces, then he comes back, he gets his money timely, that's better.
It has been happening in the past.
It's been happening, but then it was a condition whereby part of it is chopped without knowing where it is going.
We've stayed with colleagues, friends, relatives who are in the military, and we saw them going for peacekeeping.
Yes, but
it's not the first time.
But were they getting full payment?
They were getting their monies.
But timely payment is important, so that you are encouraged as well.
What's the difference, Mr.
No, the difference is you get your money right away because you have plans, not where you are waiting until you go into Kalua. By the time the money comes, you are highly indebted. That way you have a problem.
The fact is that the money has come.
The money has come, but it's come too late. Why should it be?
Okay.
And then,
Okay, no, conclude.
Yes. So what I'm saying is, we just have to appreciate and say, definitely there are gaps which this government has not done. Not deliberate, of course, but because of the combination of issues that have been inherited. And not only that, the service system of every government or whatever, there are different people that even if it means to put perfect people in there, it should never be done to be mistaken that is vengeance. But slowly but sure, there must be a way of seeing what is good that has been done, what is bad that has been done, and then answers provided. not where there is somebody who wants to propose that somebody being removed out of office within a time before completion, that is the answer. That is not a system of the government. So we want to promote a system of the government that will say, yes, this is wrong, 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 but is the time lapsed? Not yet. Okay, let's give it the other time. Even 1 minute of a football match, somebody can score. Not just Tabala Fiance. Even the others that are speaking are those that are even the ones who can say these are with the logs in their eyes, but they are busy saying, no, can you remove your twig in your eye, which is unfair. You know?
Mr. Mfaya, coming to you, why should the Zambian people renew the UPND Alliance's mandate come 2026 next year as we conclude?
Look at, I'll still go back to CDF.
Okay.
You know, CDF is doing wonders.
But those wonders can be seen in
you cannot see them. In Lusaka Central, maybe, I don't want to be quoted. The people themselves are not going to the councils to tell them what they want, because that is the use of the CDF. But when you go in other districts, rural areas, things are happening.
Like which ones?
Schools are being built.
Which new school? I want to find out. Which new school
are you not seeing? There is one by 3 blocks that are
Mr. Kasonde, which school has the UPND built?
Which school? Plenty.
In which province?
I was even in Pambashe, I was there doing.
There's a new school?
Yes, not a new school, but an extension.
1 by 3 classroom blocks?
Yes.
You know what, Joe? What we're saying here is, if you really wanted to say, get the exact of what development is in what, that can be done. But looking at the constituency development fund, we are saying it's taking development to all corners, meaning they are picking out certain things. It's only now that we are saying there's nothing. Let HH7 complete his 2 terms, for example.
No, he's got 1 term.
Okay, fine.
One mandate first,
okay.
with
all right, for argument's sake, because we are not, yes. Let's say he completes this term, yes, and then another president comes the other time. It will be the same Zambian people who will be saying, look, they are HH7, he put that, he put these community schools in the rural areas, they are benefiting. Even toilets to some of the schools that didn't have. There is a lot that's going on, except that when you bring data, it's the data which you say, okay, you are coming to discuss this thing. Then you can say, the one you are talking about is this, in that district is that, in that community is that.
Okay.
Not, yes.
Okay, no, I get your point. I get your point, Mr. Kasonde. And finally, the NDC, what's the way forward? Under a minute, Mr. Kasonde, as we go.
No, what we are saying, the Zambian people should know that there's only one NDC. And then to the members of the party, we are saying, please be strong. And then let's look at the constitution, what it says. And those that may be talking anyhow, especially mentioning me, let's be able to apply like some ointment that is on me. Because the more they talk about me, it means I don't have anything which is the problem, because I'm receptible and I'm able to. So let everybody in the country, in terms of our NDC, keep mobilizing. We are soon going to the election next year. And me, as chairman for mobilization in the Alliance, there is a program right now that we are working on very effectively, which we now have to see that every Alliance partner has got a democratic accountability in terms of what numbers has the SG got for MDC, NDC, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, President Kasonde, and thank you so much, Mr. Ngombe Mfaya, the Secretary General. And thank you, the viewers, Mr. Chinyama, Mr. Kapiwike, Mr. Kapaso, Womba, Jesse Sameta, Wezi Laki Nyerenda, Gift Chips Kakole, Mwanza Miguel, Doc, thank you so much. Wezi Nglovu, thank you so much. Branch Twala says, indeed, it has been difficult, but with the plan the government has put in place, I strongly believe by faith and by the Lord's grace, it will be well. We are praying for you. It is well. Indeed, it is well. We go, but thank you so much to all the viewers, and thank you so much to my guests. We'll see you when you see us. Good afternoon.